What's going on, Jerome's? As the 2021 NFL Draft just creeps that much closer, big boards are starting to be solidified. Power rankings in terms of positional value is starting to be set, and we wanted to take a look at Pro Football Focus's offensive line rankings, both tackles as well as interior offensive linemen. Now, everything with a grain of salt. PFF, obviously, they're going to give a little bit more credence to offensive linemen that are better pass blockers than run blockers, but it'd be what it be. So it's intriguing to see how these tackles and guards and centers stack up, as well as the relative position to the big board. So let's dive on in. Tackle, yeah, of course, number one is going to be Sewell, where he's got the physical upside, still needs some technical refinement. 2020 opt-out, was a 2-year starter at Oregon in the Pac-12. But yeah, rank 4 on the big board. He does have a chance, if he pans out on, say, 80% of that potential, to be a Pro Bowl, all-pro caliber player, and potentially a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's maybe a little bit hyperbole and a little bit of projection, but Sewell does have all those tools. He's got the size, he's got the anchor, he's got the hands, he's got the length, he's got the quickness, he's got the speed. He really does have everything. And then, so their second and third tackles, they have Rashaan, Slater, and Christian Darasa, our guy, bunched up pretty closely. Slater is 11th on the big board. Darasa is 15th. Both of them are pretty damn high, very easily in the first round. And Slater, like we've talked about, if Slater was longer and lengthy like his dad, he easily could potentially be even higher than Sewell. I think his tape is that impressive, especially against Chase Young. But the length, there are some questions there. Do you just put him at left tackle? That's what I would do, given our druthers. Can he potentially kick inside? Potentially. I know that he's been working on it, but he's never played it down inside in college. And Christian Darasa is our guy. Straight up, potentially, if the Vikings are on the board at 14, and Darasa is there, just run the card in. This is what they wrote. Darasa earned the highest PFF grade of any offensive tackle in the Power 5 in 2020. There wasn't a single blip on his radar from start to finish. He's such a powerful 315-pounder and allowed all of 6 pressures over the entire season. More importantly, he didn't allow a single sack or hit. And now I hear what you're saying. Well, who did he play in the ACC? Well, Greg Rousseau in 2019, Jalen Phillips in 2020, Boogie Basham twice, as well as Chris Rump 3 times, the late day 3 edge rusher from Duke. So, pretty damn decent. I think Darasa is going to be that guy. And then it gets interesting. So there's a big 3 tackle structure, and then it's sort of YOLO. Wheeler Walker Little Jr., who was a 2020 opt-out, his last real good tape was 2018, got injured in 2019. Now, this is a big-time gamble. A guy who hasn't really put up good tape in 3 seasons, but has the physical tools, has athletic ability, and the length that you could potentially gamble on. And I have no idea where Wheeler Walker Little Jr. is going to go. It would be great if he's available in the 3rd round. I think the Vikings should partake in that, but he could easily go in the 2nd round. He might even sneak into the back end of the 1st round, depending on how some of these teams see the tackle. So having him at 4, having him at 26 on their big board, which is within the range of the 1st round, really surprising, but he's got that upside. He does have that talent. 5, Tevin Jenkins. So absolute mauler in the run game, just like they mentioned, but of course, they're going to discount the run game just a little bit. So Tevin Jenkins, for me, is the 4th tackle in this class behind Sewell, Darasa, and Slater. But Jenkins, is he only a right tackle? Can he perform at guard as well? I'm not sure about him swapping over to left tackle, even though he does have a little bit of experience there. I don't know if he has the footwork, but in terms of nastiness, yeah, he is absolutely that dude in the draft. Athletic upside guys, Dylan Raden's coming from NDSU, as well as Sam Cosby. They're very much in the Brian O'Neill, Ezra Cleveland mold, where they could add some weight, but you're betting on just that absolute power forward upside. And Raden's, there are some more questions about Raden's as opposed to Cosby. Raden's didn't play in 2020 because Missouri Valley Conference was like, nope. As well as, is he a great left tackle, or was he blocking in a college-style offense for a very mobile quarterback in Trey Lance? That's one of those Ronnie Stanley type questions. And then you have Sam Cosby, who blocked for Sam Ehlinger for a number of years and is just really phenomenal. I actually think that Sam Cosby is one of the more underrated tackles in this class. They have him at 38 on the big board, so just outside the 1st round. If he doesn't go first, I think that he'll go in the top 40, maybe top 50, and be an immediate dude right away, wherever he lands. 8, Leatherwood, where I feel like Leatherwood has been downgraded in the draft process because very early on you saw him in the first round of a lot of mock drafts. But I actually think it's less about him and more about guys like Raden and Cosby and Tevin Jenkins doing really well at their pro day stuff. So Leatherwood, I mean, you have a guy who started multiple years at both guard and left tackle in the SEC and has been an asset. Yeah, does make sense. Jackson Carman from Clemson, I think that he potentially is going to kick inside to guard, but does have talent. Then Liam Eichenberg, where I don't know what to make of Eichenberg, where he obviously has the talent to play left tackle at a high level, but he doesn't check all the boxes lengthwise, even though he does have that size. Arm length, he's really much a lot like Rashaan Slater, but I could see Eichenberg going late first round. I think the Chiefs make a lot of sense in being a week 1 starter, or maybe he takes a dive into round 2. Don't really know. Then interior offensive lineman, starting at the top, it's AVT and it's everyone else. So AVT is 21 on PFF's big board, and of course interior offensive linemen that are just going to downgrade just a little bit, and as well as he's 23 spots ahead of number 2 guy Landon Dickerson. But AVT, I like AVT a lot. And if the Vikings can't trade down from 14, he's on the board. The 3 tackles are gone. I mean, just select him. Select him and solidify one of the offensive line spots. Plan his ass at left guard for the next 10 years, and he'll be good to go. I'm not buying that he's going to be a tackle, even though he did play tackle in 2020 at USC. I just don't see it. Like, why dick around with a great guard just because, maybe he can play tackle? Screw that noise. 2, Landon Dickerson is our guy. Absolutely our guy, but does have a lot of medical questions. But like they mentioned, 91.3 overall grade last season in the Big Bad SEC before he got hurt. Can play center, can play guard, can play tackle, can block power in the run game as seen at Alabama, can block zone as seen at Florida State. He really is that dude. Plus, he's hilarious. He's hilarious. 3, here's where we get nuts. Quinn Meinerz, University of Wisconsin Whitewater. Now, like they said, this is exclusively because of the Senior Bowl, where he was dominant in a bunch of reps and he looked really, really good. But man, like, you're putting Quinn Meinerz above guys like Wyatt Davis, guys like Creed Humphrey, who have a little bit more expanded resume at a high level. So I understand it. I get it. You're hoping that he's going to be like Ali Marpet, where a small school dude showed up at the Senior Bowl and then came into the league as a second-round pick and just hammered it. I would be shocked if Meinerz goes before Davis and even Creed Humphrey, but I understand you're betting on that upside, you're betting on the come. But yeah, I think that I'd be also surprised if Meinerz falls out of the second round. I think that's going to be the sweet spot for him for Wyatt Davis, no matter what. Where if he didn't have the knee injury, I think that he could have snuck into the back end of the first round. He could have competed with Elijah Vera-Tucker as the number 1 interior offensive lineman, but had sort of a down 2020 season. He played through a bunch of injuries, but that 2019 tape, man, it just speaks to me. It does. And if you're betting on the upside, like Wheeler Walker Little Jr., where 2018 tape, you can certainly bet on Wyatt Davis's 2019 tape. Creed Humphrey, physical freak, absolutely got after it in his pro day. And I really like Creed Humphrey's 3-year starter for the Sooners at center, didn't allow a sack. And yes, teammates with Drew Samia. I mean, sure, but Creed Humphrey, I think that he can be that dude in the middle. Scheme agnostic, can play any scheme, whatever you want to do. 6, Kendra Green. I'm a little bit surprised that Kendra Green is graded this high, but best kept secret, man, it kind of stinks. Where he's got size, he would be a perfect scheme fit if the Vikings want to stick with outside zone, and he's just a guy that can get after it. And I feel like that he is really ascending in terms of his draft stock. I think that he's one of the largest gainers. I think that early on he was seen as like a late day 3 guy. Now he's in the meat of day 2. It would be a really nice player. 7, Trey Smith, 5-star, all everything, 4-year starter at Tennessee. Did have some blood clot issues, but he is a dude who's got size, he's got strength, he's got anchor, he's got enough movement skills where he wouldn't be a liability with the Vikings. I like Trey Smith a lot. And then you get into Ben Cleveland, and then the 2 Notre Dame guards, Hainsey and Banks, where I know that Notre Dame offensive linemen have gotten a lot of love in recent years, but this group is just sort of to me. I think Eichenberg can be an immediate starter somewhere, but Hainsey, Banks, Tommy Kramer, But number 8, Ben Cleveland at 95. So that puts him in the thick of the later end of the third round into the fourth round. If you can get Ben Cleveland in the fourth round, where the Vikings have 4 first-round picks, abso-friggin-lutely. He's tree-fitty. He's got athletic prowess where he's not going to be a stick in the mud. He's not just a guy with lead feet, but yeah, I think he's an underrated athlete, and I would like him. I like his tenaciousness. Put him in a right guard. And if the Vikings want to do something where they take AVT at 14, they get Ben Cleveland in the fourth round, maybe even the third round, you're good. You are good, man. Or they take Darasa at 14, they move Ezra Cleveland to left guard, and then have Ben Cleveland at right guard. You got the Cleveland show at guard. Woo! You feel pretty good about that. So that's a look at PFF's top 10 positional rankings for the 2021 NFL Draft of both offensive line spots, both tackle as well as interior offensive line. And the good news for the Vikings is that we could have gone on to 20 or 30 or 40 in this class, because it is an extremely deep class. I think that you will find a bunch of significant starting offensive linemen around the league in this group. And the Vikings, they got to get after it. So even if they go BP at 14 and it's not offensive linemen, they can hammer the middle rounds, 2/3, 4/4, and just get it. Just get it, man. Can we fix this offensive line problem once and for all? Getting a lot of young talent in the building, having them compete, having actual open competition as opposed to just handing dude jobs. Can we do that? Can we do that in America? It would be good to see. But your thoughts on our thoughts, PFF's offensive line rankings, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.